Spandu Ballet as always. We have with us a very special guest tonight. He's no stranger to us. Of course, we love him. He's our best friend, our brother, and he's our neighbor. Colton Oldenburg with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Right here from 50 feet across the yard.
50 feet.
Nothing
no more, no less.
So, you know what? You actually came into the podcast right after we shot the American Idol video.
Made a little guest appearance.
Yeah, you walked in on us.
Came in real quick. It was a little blurb, but a nice precursor.
That was the taste. That was the first taste.
It was the first taste.
That was the first taste. For all our listeners out there, Colton is just like the spitting image of...
Oh, careful
now. No, trust me. This
all right,
is going to be good.
I'm waiting.
Like, if you could just imagine, like, the most, like, just what you would think of when you think of, like, the word hunk. It's like, Colton is textbook. I mean, you are just
That's what
like...
everyone says.
You had the style, you had the beard. Like, you are a suave guy. You are...
Suave.
Like, honestly,
Papi chulo.
Colton, honestly,
It's getting hot in here.
No.
Goodness.
I'm being totally serious. I don't want to gas you up, but I will. But like, you are just one of I mean, this man is a heartbreaker, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my!
So
goodness.
I just wanted to paint the picture. Obviously, I'm fucking guy who wears glasses and has a mustache. So. But this guy, man, you are
right.
Explain himself like that. Looks like he's a 70s rock star.
Yeah.
My opinion.
I shaved my mustache a little too thin today.
I was gonna say it's looking a
little
little
thin.
extra
The
coiffed.
moustache.
I did. I had to thin it out. Sometimes it kind of, brings you a little energy, keeping it fresh, cutting it close.
I'm in the same position. Well, actually, the opposite position where I have been utterly lazy in the past week, where I've been knowing I need to shave my face, especially the mustache, but I just haven't. And so I actually had that conversation today where I was like, it's time. The forest, it's touching my lip.
Sometimes you gotta thin it out, and it feels good.
You do. It does. You can feel the breeze in there.
Actually, I need to do that with the sideburns, because my sideburns get way out of control, and I don't have the razor to do it, so it's a bitch. I have like a fucking hairbrush and an electric razor, and I'm just trying.
You're just tangling with it, just fighting her.
Yeah, it doesn't work. And people are always telling me that I look like a 70s porn star or a 70s rock star.
It's the stash mixed with the hair. Rock or porn, no in between.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's really no gray area. And
those are two pretty cool things to be thought of, though.
Sometimes people get me confused with being a lot older than I am or a lot younger, which I think is interesting.
I would never guess older, but I could definitely see you being mistaken for younger.
Yeah. Yeah, someone told me they thought I was 25 today.
You know what? I think your personality, if someone were to just hear you or be on the other side of the phone, I think that could make someone think you're older than you are. Because I think you have a very mature and aged aura about you. I think when you're talking, you're very articulate. I think that's what
confuses people.
You're very articulate. You're very you know what you want to say, and you're smooth. You're calm with how you're talking, and I think that a lot of the time that can be taken as oh, this guy's got it together. He must have the age behind that.
Wow.
I mean, I'm guilty of this myself, where I judged Steven's appearance the very first time I met him. But
we both
his personality won me over immediately.
Right.
We were at the Village Squire.
His personality carries, I'm going to be honest. He could look like a troll, and his personality, he'd still get bitches. He'd still get bitches at the end of the day. His personality's carrying. But he doesn't. He's very handsome, too.
Speaks for itself.
So, I mean...
This man landed.
This man needs to be on a tight leash.
Honestly, I think we're all pretty good-looking guys.
I think we are.
I'm just gonna
honestly. I think
we were all dealt some good shots.
I'm done of pretending that we're not.
We are at least a 6 out of 10.
Oh,
and that's me being humble. Really, I think I'm a 7 or 8.
Technically,
really,
we are higher.
Because if we were higher than that, we'd be models, or we'd be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, no, that top 10 or 9, those are models.
What percent, I guess, if we're going to break it down, looks being on a scale of 1 to 100%, at what percentage can you be considered a model?
You have to be at least an 8 or higher, I feel like.
So that's 80%. You just said we're 60s.
I would say
I feel
C+.
So that's a 70. 5.
C plus.
I mean, they got big bitches modeling and shit, so it just depends, like, you know what kind of modeling you're doing.
A lot of those unusual.
Well, you could be a Home Depot model, and they just want like an average Joe looking guy.
I mean, I don't think anyone has bad face. Everyone is beautiful, and everyone
in their own way.
In their own way. Like even, if you see someone who may not be like outwardly attractive to you, like they're attractive to someone else.
Yeah. And it definitely goes beyond obviously the physical attributes, whereas like you can be walking past someone and think, oh wow, that's all this, that, or the other thing, and I wouldn't associate with this person, but yeah, one conversation and even like 10 words with someone can totally change how you view that person immediately.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. And like you were saying about, people thinking I'm a lot younger, that this actually happened to me, where I told someone, one of my coworkers, how old I was, and they were like still in high school, and they were like totally surprised, because I use all like the Gen Z slang, like just joking around, but they thought I was like being like dead ass.
But like you know
what I mean?
Using this shit all sarcastically and just like ironically and.
I know, I swear, like throwing around like a couple bussons, no caps, like will literally take off like 10 years of your life.
Immediately.
Like, dude, easily.
You hear that, everybody?
Easily.
One bussin' a day keeps the boomers away.
It's rejuvenating. I love
the slang is funny.
All the Gen Z slang, man, dude. I absolutely
eat it up.
I love it. At first, I didn't get it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that
kizzy.
You see a lot of memes about it, people making fun of it, but like honestly, it's so good.
It hits.
It hits different. It's fire. Somebody told me, that same person was surprised. She said, "I want to bring back saying fire."
Yeah, like that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's one that
I still say it.
I was going to say that's one that never really went out.
Yeah,
well, I guess for us, I mean, we don't really know what's in anymore in terms of like what's going on in school and shit.
Yeah, like back when I was in high school, I remember like 2013, everyone loved saying epic.
Yeah, they're still saying groovy.
That was epic.
The 70s and
shut your ass up. No, everyone was saying epic, fire, prime. I'd always say prime.
Oh, that's
swell.
Funny.
That's
the older generation.
I was gonna say that's like an old one.
That's OG shit.
I threw around a couple swells. I think swell is one of those time-tested words that is just like so applicable.
If you're a surfer.
Surfer.
Yeah, you're heading in the swell.
Like
it's an ocean term.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. It was like Jonah Hill's girlfriend. She was a surfer.
Oh, he's in some hot water.
Bikini
He's in some hot water.
He got canceled. I don't know. There's two sides
to hot water for that. Yeah, I don't know. All relationships have that kind of like back and forth shit. I know when one side comes out, you're
I'll
only
be honest,
seeing one side.
I feel like Jonah Hill is a pretty funny, wholesome guy. I'm riding with my boy Jonah. Like I know these bitches be trifling at the end of the day.
What did you think about the movie You People?
It was hilarious.
He came out with top of the year.
It was really funny.
I definitely liked You People. I will say.
He was Jewish in that movie.
Yeah. I really liked it.
And a podcaster.
The very first scene had me like really wondering if I should continue or not. The first podcast scene that they're introduced with, and honestly, it wasn't even him. It was his co-star, and I'm forgetting their name right now. But I don't know why I did not immediately vibe with them off the top, but I will say throughout the end of it, by the end of the movie, I didn't have a bad thing to say.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like they didn't really focus too much on their dynamic.
Yeah, same.
Which I feel like would have been a lot funnier had they taken the angle of like, his podcast kind of being the most important thing about him.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was kind of more about
it was a very kind of thrown in there.
What the podcast was about, because it was, his friend was black.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, you're talking about like, black culture or whatever. But it's like,
and
he only had a couple scenes with his co-star.
With them at all.
Which I think would have made it a lot better of a movie.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be a rom-com. He's dating the black girl.
I think that's my problem, is that it wasn't as memorable for me as some of his other roles. Like, you think it's super bad, and I think of like almost every scene from that movie, and it's like I can play it back, or like, obviously, Wolf on Wall Street.
Oh man, Wolf on Wall Street, so good.
Yeah, honestly, some of his... It's hard to...
Shout out Jordan Muir.
Yep.
Yeah, Jonah Hill is one of those actors who had like such a interesting selection of roles, because like he really got big after Superbad, and then he started kind of taking on these really interesting characters. I mean, just like you said.
I'm gonna actually look at his list of characters.
Yeah, look up type in Jonah Hill and it'll have a list of his
IMDb.
movies. And he's in a lot of early stuff, in a lot of early 2000s movies that you don't really think about it.
He totally is. I actually really want to see the movie mid-90s, and I've been going by it. It's written and directed by Jonah Hill.
Really?
Yeah, and I actually have not, but...
Yeah, he's directed some, too.
Okay,
He made that one series about his therapist. I think it was a documentary, black and white.
Yeah, actually, I watched that, and I actually liked that one. That was definitely different for him, but I think that was the point, is that it was very, like, raw and kind of like him, more so.
Have you ever been to therapy?
I have, yeah.
Wow.
We, I'll speak for
court
myself
ordered
specifically. Yeah, it was court-ordered therapy because...
Oh, damn. They can
yeah.
do that?
Yeah,
when my mom and dad were in high school in like a custody battle, like the judge had said, the kids are in a young impressionable time, like we put them in therapy just because of the circumstances, blah blah blah.
Really? Wow.
Honestly, it didn't do anything other to me than like I got out of school for like a few hours and like got to milk that and shit, so that was fun.
So you kind of looked at it more of...
It's not that I didn't take it seriously, it's just like I didn't think I even needed to be there to begin with. Like I didn't choose to like enlist myself in therapy, you know what I mean? I was a minor and like it was court ordered by like, because of my parents, like trying to like fight for custody and shit.
I definitely won't lie in the way of, I totally looked at it as like, fuck yeah, I get to leave school early, I get to go, like, mom's gonna treat us to some claws, some burgers, and a malt afterwards. Like,
some
it's like... No, Claws is a burger joint out in, like, Geneva. Out there, yeah. Anyways. So, yeah, it was always a, like, get out of... Yeah, right, turning up before going back to school. No, it was always... it was good for me. I would say it was definitely looked at as more of a getaway and kind of a just get out of school card, but... As I progressed, because I went through... Did we both go to two people? Yeah, we started with a guy there who we only had for like a month or two, and he was like a really animated character. Very like, he was a shorter guy, like had almost looked like, what's his name? He was a Hispanic comedian that was like super popular. He was a
Enrique
fat
Iglesias?
guy. No,
fat
guy. You know what I'm talking about. That's like half his bit. So
no, I'm
respectfully,
thinking about the DJ, Gabriel Iglesias. That's his name, and he had that one bit.
Is that his stage name?
No, but Gabriel Iglesias, he's the guy who had that one bit about he got pulled over, and he had a case of donuts in his car, and the cop comes over to the car, and he says, "Do you know why I pulled you over today?" And then he says he's holding the box of donuts, and he says, "Because you can smell it." And he opens the box of donuts.
Oh my god, that is pretty funny.
No, my parents loved him. They saw his comedy special back in like 2007.
Like live?
He had
That's pretty sweet.
He performed at the theater that's in the Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg.
A hop and a skip.
Yeah. No, he was and I remember he did a really good George W. Bush impression. He had like one of the best. Honestly, he probably had the most like iconic George W. Bush impression for that era. Yeah.
Date.
Yeah, no.
I don't think I've ever heard someone do a George W. Bush impression. So honestly, that would probably be the most.
Another good one of my favorite impressions was of in Harold and Kumar, Escape from Guantanamo Bay. One of my all-time favorite scenes.
That's like an OG stoner movie.
In that movie. Dude, it's so good. It's unbelievable how good
That's like a Pineapple Express type movie.
I don't know how well it holds up today, but dude, the scene where Harold and Kumar smoke a blunt with George Bush, dude, is the funniest scene ever. It's comedy gold.
I gotta be honest and say that I have not mined that gold yet. I have not seen it.
Oh, have you seen the Harold and Kumar go to White Castle? The first one?
I've scrolled past it. I've not watched it. No.
Whoa, dude, we gotta watch it.
I guess so. It's on the list. Yeah.
Do you like White Castle?
I've never been to White Castle and been like, damn, I need to come back here. It's always been like, you know what, this gets the job done. Like I was hungry now, and now I'm not, and then I won't think about it until 45 minutes later, and it's coming out of me.
Right. Oh, man.
And then I'm thinking about it.
I love White Castle burgers.
Sliders.
I went and got sliders with Courtney, Drake, and Isaac last time he was in town visiting from Colorado. And it was like a night after bar hopping. We did karaoke in Chinatown. Went to...
I heard yo ass singing karaoke till 4 a.m. that night.
Right. No, that's not true.
Bless you.
Opened the door from off the street, and it was, you know... bless you. It was like...
Stay blessed, thank you.
It was like the size of the first floor of the duplex, and it was like a private event, you know, like pretty plainly, and you know, all these, you know, people that were inside, you know, already singing, were like just giving us beers, and you know, I mean, from off the street, like it was clear, like we were about to like turn around, you know what I mean? Because you know, we looked the place up on Google Maps, it was like, all right, karaoke, let's go, but like the whole place was rented out. You know, and it wasn't big, so it was like apparent. Like there wasn't even anywhere to order a drink. I think you had to bring your own drinks or something. So it was like a family.
That's crazy.
It was, you know, this, you know, small little karaoke spot. We were, you know, just trying to turn up, and you know, we tried leaving, but they were like, oh no, stay, and like fucking cracked us open, you know, like a fresh case of Heinekens, and we're just, you know,
here it is.
Bottles. You know, and oh man, dude, it was great. It was great. That was one of like the happiest memories that I have of visiting Chicago recently, or at least this year, because everyone was so grateful, and it was an experience where I mean, obviously we're in Chinatown. Everybody's Chinese.
Chinatown is fucking awesome.
Chinatown,
honestly,
in Chicago was hardcore.
It's already time to go. It's about to be hot pot season. October is right around the corner. It's cold. It's perfect time for
San
hot pot.
Francisco.
I've never had hot pot before.
San Francisco, Chinatown.
We need to do that.
San Francisco, Chinatown. You haven't seen Chinatown until you've been out there.
Oh, I bet.
San Francisco's Chinatown is fucking huge, and it's literally just like, it was one of the coolest experiences.
Chicago's pretty good though. Theirs is pretty
I believe
good too.
it. I totally believe it.
It is. I expect everything in California to be maybe... I don't know if California's on the same par or equal to Chicago.
California's going down. Honestly, California is slowly, a lot of shit out there.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on
Going
in
bad.
LA.
Going bad. Yeah, a lot of people are leaving.
Oh.
Well, they have just a huge homeless problem that's only gotten worse, and then among other problems.
Yeah.
But every state's got their problems of legislation.
I mean, honestly, a lot of states with, you know, really big Central American cities in them. I mean, same thing with Illinois. I mean, they're just, you know, homeless people in Chicago.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's the same thing in New York.
Well, that's what's always going to happen, is where immensely dense amounts of people live, is you're obviously going to have large amounts of...
That's true.
...unemployed people in those places, because that's just, I mean...
Yeah. That's like the law of proportion.
It is.
Like, everything is going to be the biggest, you know...
Yeah.
I mean, period. I mean, any demographic is going to be, you know, marginally larger.
Yeah, even down to, like... animals. Like, there's, I guarantee you go to Chicago, there's, like, the percentage of rats that are in Chicago as opposed to the rest of the state are probably, like, those numbers are probably insane, but that's just, they're drawn to where everyone else is, just like people are.
Absolutely.
So, no, basically, we're not better than rats.
That I saw a mouse today at work.
A mouse? I saw a mouse last week.
You did?
It was when I was working, but I was in the woods, so that made sense. But at Rosewood, you saw a mouse?
Inside Rosewood, yeah. I saw
it somewhere. Where?
I saw it eating a cookie. There was a cookie. And it was
dude, eating a cookie? That sounds like some Tom and Jerry shit.
In the gift shop, there was a mouse.
Oh my god.
Hell no.
Deb left a little cookie out for him.
No, it was like a case of cookies. And the cookies were in there. And the door was like open. Just
that was fucking Ratatouille, bro.
And there was like...
pulling that cookie
there was a line of crumbs down the table. I was like, what the fuck?
That was Stuart Little fucking grabbing a cookie.
Sneaking in there.
Stuart Little pulled up. Steal your bitch.
Oh boy, Stewie.
And an oatmeal raisin.
It ain't chocolate chip. Then I dip.
Want it. That's
it. Man. What you writing over there, Scott?
So, as we discussed before we hit play on the pod, we are going to have a new guest. Not in addition to my twin brother, who you guys just met. But just...
Oh, yeah. I don't think we mentioned that you guys are twins.
Yeah. So, the connection to all of us
I think we glossed that
is
over a
that
little bit.
Zevin and I, Colton, are twin brothers. I am the eldest by 6 minutes. Had to throw that in there. But
Had to little bro me by 6 minutes.
always by 6
I
minutes.
feel like the older twin, you always get to say that.
You have to hold
And
it. You have to hold
I know
it.
you
I mean,
love saying it. You
I
love
do.
saying
Yeah,
it.
right?
cannot.
I would say it. I mean,
I
if I was
cannot.
born 6 minutes, I'd definitely dunk on
Be
him
like,
on the
it's
daily.
like
So I
6
understand.
minutes.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not.
Hey.
I'm hating on the game, not the player.
Hey,
You know
better,
what I'm saying?
better
Like-
6 minutes than 6 inches.
I
That's
love
all I'm
the
going to
game.
say.
Exactly.
I love this shit.
I live in it.
Are you guys fraternal twins?
Yeah. If
Absolutely,
we were identical,
yeah.
we would have been born at the same time. No, I'm
we
retarded.
We would
No,
look
no, no.
the same.
Yeah, wait, that's not what
We were
like this.
we were 2 eggs. To clarify, we were 2
White
eggs.
screen pussy.
We were 2 eggs in the same womb, not 1 egg split into 2.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not identical because I have brown eyes, he has blue. We have different facial features, but we do look very similar. In
Yeah,
some
we definitely.
aspects.
People have always said we look a lot like brothers,
That's true.
but they
You
wouldn't
guys have
guess we're
different
twins.
colored eyes.
And our hair is similar, but it's like mine is like his is more like wavy and mine's more curly, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Wait. Has anyone ever been surprised that you guys are twins?
People are either surprised or they're
It's
like,
hit or
oh, yeah, I
miss.
can totally tell.
It's hit or miss. People are like,
it's-
I can't tell the difference, or they're like, what? We've had a couple people say they can't tell the difference.
Yeah,
It's
because
like
you guys
weird.
are very distinct. But I know, like other twins, sometimes
hard
you,
to tell.
I mean, and I know that there's other twins that go through that where you
Oh, yeah.
call them
Yeah.
the wrong name, and that's like the worst thing you can do to them.
That was
That
like
even
my
happens
nephews.
with
That
us,
was our
yeah.
nephews when they were like growing up because they had the
Yeah.
same ass haircut, the same clothes. So it was like fucking.
That's rough.
And our
That's
nephews
rough.
are
It's like
identical.
playing a
twins,
goddamn
which
game
is-
of Blue's Clues back then, trying to figure out who's who.
Which is kind of nuts to think of how family works. We'll probably have some twins, or our grandkids will, because our grandma was a twin, which I
Yeah,
didn't even know
yeah.
really either.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
So that's where we got that from.
My sister had a twin.
We're really putting twins in this family.
My sister had a twin, but it disappeared. And she
Ate it?
She
She
had
absorbed
she
the
ate
twin?
her twin.
Hey,
That's
She
crazy.
ate it up.
say
Cover
she
your
ate
ears.
her twin. Say she ate her twin.
Dude,
Is
no,
that
because that
crazy?
happens. Like, as like
Yeah.
a cell in the womb, like there are
Just
like,
like-
you have an ultrasound and there's like 2 bodies in there.
See,
But it's possible during the pregnancy that
To
one of them.
absorb
see,
the
I,
other one.
I tried to do that to Colton. I tried to absorb him, but we were
That's
too
kind of-
equally matched. We were too equally matched, so thank God
right,
because I'd be an unstoppable beast who could split the Earth's core in half.
Yeah,
if I would have eaten,
you got both halves.
If I would have eaten this motherfucker's half, I would have been 6'7". Fucking, I would have been a beast.
That is
Man.
crazy to think, low key. If we did,
Think about if
happen
I
to turn into
absorbed all
one
of this
guy,
man's power. I'm already like
we would be.
6 foot
We would have been.
by
We
myself.
would have been a fucking a unit.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
I would have done some
That's
damage.
crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy. Would you guys ever like give up?
No,
or
never.
be one? No.
The fact that he was hesitant, maybe I take my answer back. I take my answer back.
Like that would be like, just like
You know,
one
if we
super
could
person.
see, I'm thinking if it was like a Michael and Pikel situation, like in Rick and Morty, when they're just like doppelganger twins, or like they're still connected,
Siamese,
conjoined
Siamese
twins. Yeah,
twins.
Siamese. No, I wouldn't do that. But if it's like our consciousness is kind of like in the back, and we just get to tap out
he
between
was
each
saying
other.
like, would you rather like be like one strongest motherfucker or have a brother?
Oh,
And that's
have a
why I
brother.
answered. I was like, oh, I have a brother. And
Oh.
you were like, oh, let me think about
I
it.
totally
Let me
missed
think
the
my
question.
fucking answer back.
I totally missed the question.
I'm
No.
absorbing this motherfucker.
No, full disclosure. I have always said, will always say, and have always felt that being a twin is the best.
I'm gonna
thing
say
that's
some
ever
real
happened
shit.
in my life. My
Yeah.
biggest blessing I could have been born with was a twin.
Wow.
Let me say
Was
some
my
real shit.
brother Zevin, my neighbor,
Wow.
in the womb.
Appreciate
Neighbors
you,
know.
bro. I'm gonna say some real shit though. If it was up to me,
You would have had 6 minutes.
no. If it was up to me, I'm glad that I had a twin brother and not a twin sister. You can
Facts.
call me misogynist, you can cancel me, but it's fine. I stay canceled anyway. So how you gonna cancel me when I've been
Right.
canceled
No
so
one's
goddamn
canceling
long?
you.
You gotta cancel me. Cancel me.
I mean,
No,
having
I
a twin brother, I feel like is just amazing. Just because it's like That's your gym bro. That's your fucking, your best friend.
Just growing up with another version of you, like it's all the best ways, and like in the same ways where it's just you got a different perspective.
In other metrics, like I'm walking on the street, like it's me and my bro, like we could fucking like imagine I'm a female and it's me and my sister, like we about to get fucking abducted.
Yeah, someone's coming to my sister.
I'm just keeping it a stack.
You have such a strange perspective sometimes.
Hey, the people love it. The people love it.
I think. You know what? I always thought like if you were really like tripping out on acid or something and like thinking about having a twin and like how when you're tripping you like really think about
you
things.
fall into that.
Like I always thought like for whatever reason like having a twin like that would be something like that when you really think about it is actually like pretty crazy.
It is. It is pretty crazy.
I mean?
Well,
like if you dissect
it's 1 in 500. It's like a 1 in
really
500 chance.
Well, that's on top of the chance of having a kid, like of conceptualizing a child in general. Because like you think about it, the chances that you'll actually have a baby like on the first time you have sex and fucking do it, whatever, is a lot lower than people imagine. The odds on first time having sex that you will get pregnant. Is a lot lower than people think. And so on top of that, on getting pregnant, the chance of it also being a twin, so if you also having two eggs be fertilized or one split, it's like the chance of that is even lower. So I mean it's common enough. You find plenty of twins and triplets and quadruplets and shit throughout the world, but it's like it is a crazy thing to think about. And I mean I honestly know it's kind of crazy, and my girlfriend isn't the happiest when I say this, but I hope I have twins. Like, I hope it doesn't skip a generation. I hope my kids are twins. Nah, she just doesn't want to have two.
I'm happy either way.
The first one.
Would you be disappointed if
no, of course not. No, I'll just have another one. I'll just have. I want at least 2 kids. I think I want 2, maybe 3. 3's pushing it.
3's my max.
3's kind of like the
But let's say
never say never.
Let's say we get like really successful, like by 35, got like
then I want
millions in the bank. All right, well fuck it. At that
like,
point,
give me 8 kids.
Yeah, I mean,
let's make a
let's spread my seed and build my empire.
Oh my god.
They says
on some evil villain shit.
Someone's got to do it.
Doofenshmirtz.
The DNA must be strong.
Doofenshmirtz. I want to use that. Just pull that out on some. Boy, if you don't get your Doofenshmirtz face ass.
He's always fucking talking about the tri-state area.
The tri-state area. What is it about this tri-state area?
That was the funniest catchphrase for no reason.
The tri-state area.
He just always said tri-state area.
I know that like every generation's like, oh, the movies were better in my day, the shows were better, but be real, the cartoons.
Our era was
like Cartoon Network growing up, and like
regular show,
even before
Adventure
that,
Time,
like,
Courage the Cowardly
the OG
Dog,
cartoons, like the Simpsons, like all these OG ones. Like,
even the adult
versus
ones.
The bullshit that they got nowadays.
I don't know. Once I saw Uncle
just said
Grandpa
the same shit.
coming out,
I know I did, but it's true though. Like, well, like think about it. When's the last time you saw a good animated movie come out? In the theaters. Like, be real.
Well, there's
in the theaters, I didn't.
Animated movie coming out this December.
There's gonna be, but before
really
now.
See, Hayao Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli.
Yes, his last film.
It's about the boy and the heron.
Yep, the boy and the heron. I already watched the trailer.
He's one of those animators who
once in a lifetime.
Bad boy in the neighborhood treesh.
He does everything by hand. Like he is one of the most talented individuals alive. Like in my opinion. And
I'm such an appreciator of art and animation, so like especially when it comes to his shit, I'm like, oh my god.
All of his
movies. Sitting, I feel like my eyes are like having a feast. Like I'm sitting down and I have to like put bibs under my eyelids so they can just fully take it in.
Dude, yeah. Spirited Away.
We got to see that in theater.
The greatest animated film.
Oh, see, and honestly, I'm so behind on. Oh yeah, and it's one of the only anime films to win as the award.
Super influential movie.
But yeah, honestly, I've slacked on a lot of Studio Ghibli movies, and I'd like to watch like all of them. I really want to. We should put one on a list and once a week watch a Studio Ghibli film. Watch a new one.
Because almost every single one of his movies, and I'm only saying that because I haven't seen all of them, because he has some really like deep cuts.
Oh yeah.
That like I've been a fan of him. I mean, for 10 plus years, and like I haven't seen the stuff that he came out with like late '80s or
Well, even Spirited Away, I've
That
watched
boy,
like
yeah.
3 times, but I fell asleep each time.
Oh,
Unfortunately, because
it's
literally
so
like
good.
every single time we started it at like 11:30. One of the times was at your house in Chicago. Was
That's right.
out at your
That's right. I
apartment.
remember
We visited
putting
you.
it
It
on
was
for you.
during COVID,
'Cause I knew you
and
loved
we
it.
came out. Yeah, and you know what? I literally it's like 20 minutes in, and then if it's close to like late at night, I'm just out. And then I wake up, credits are rolling, and I'm like, God damn it.
Honestly, though, I think this is going to be a hot take, but I think that's one of the best ways to watch a movie because you absorb it over multiple times. You know what I mean?
And I definitely like having the ability to rewatch and to like fully
like having one here, like put it this way, having one intentional viewing of a film. You absorb it, you watch it a couple hours, whatever, versus having it on in the background. You're doing other stuff. You fall asleep. You're with your friends. You're partying, and you're not really paying attention, or maybe you are at some parts, but then you watch it multiple times. Like we had movies like at sleepovers where we'd always put on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas,
just to have it on the background.
and just get high, smoke weed, and fucking forget.
And then whenever you
about
watch,
it.
it's a funny part. You're like, oh shit, this part's on, and then you get this shit.
And it's such a good movie. And I think movies like that where you don't have to take film so seriously and really immerse yourself or like concentrate and be like, I'm watching a movie. And like how Miyazaki, going back to Studio Ghibli, he even says that he doesn't want people to watch his movies more than once a year. Because he wants people
You want to actually watch it, enjoy it in the way it was intended, and like
he wants people
written.
to enjoy their lives. It's
Yeah.
like the movies are, I mean, you need to kind of ration yourself on, how
But-
many movies you watch or kind of things like that.
And for him,
Because all
I
these
think
movies are really pro nature, and he wants people to
that's the one
get
thing.
away from technology and
Yeah,
watching
and
TV in
that's-
general, which is so ironic because
Yeah.
he makes like TV.
That was something I was just gonna add to that. Is that I think that's kind of crazy that how obviously you like picture what he has created. Like when you watch his movies and stuff, you're like, this is a different world. This is something I've never seen. This is like the colors, the animals, the scenarios, the landscapes, everything is just so like surreal. And to think that really all of that conceptualizes in his mind and he just like he sees the world that way, and that's how he wants us to see the world, in that kind of light, and something that's like beyond our, I guess, everyday understanding of just looking like, oh, that shit's a tree, oh, that's the sunset we see every single day, or this is like that. It's just like, I think he really tries to emphasize taking every moment and like really appreciating all of that. That's one of my takes, I would say. At least from Howl's Moving Castle. That's my favorite.
That's my
Howl's
favorite one
Moving
too.
Castle is my favorite.
That's my favorite one too.
And Christian Bale, the voice acting in that, that was
such
crazy.
a good role.
That was crazy. Such a good role.
And who's the voice actor who played Calcifer?
Calcifer. I want a Calcifer tattoo, actually.
Oh,
That's
really?
I think one of the tattoos I want is Calcifer. So I was like, I love Howl's Moving Castle, and honestly, Calcifer was just like really funny, and it's a cute little like flame tattoo.
Wait, look up who his voice actor was.
Yeah, I was just about to.
It was it wasn't Daniel Day-Lewis.
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal.
It was
There
Billy
it is.
Crystal. Yeah, that's
Such
funny.
great casting.
Yeah, and you know what? That's where I just watched a video. I think it was a YouTube short that was saying on how Christian Bale ended up with getting the role for Howl's Moving Castle. And it was because he had just watched one of Miyazaki's films, and he loved it so much that he went through whatever aspect he had to reach out to them and to the creator, and was like, I don't care what it is, I don't care when, but I love this so much. If there would ever be an ability to like work with you on a film, or like it be like to voice a character or anything like that,
And he did?
I would love to. And the next movie, which happened to be Howl's Moving Castle, they asked if he wanted to roll, and he was like, this is great. He was like, I get to be a nice little side character. I wonder who I'm going to play. Like, I'm excited for this. And he said he got to set that day, and they cued him in and gave him his lines and said, you're the main guy, star of the show, and he was like ecstatic, and then he really killed that role.
You know, a lot of the characters in cartoons, you don't really realize they're boys are actually voiced by girls.
Absolutely.
Like the voice actor who voices Timmy Turner from
Is
Fairly
a-
Odd
is a
Parents.
woman.
Dude,
Yeah.
she's smoking hot. She's hot as
I didn't
hell.
even know that.
Bro. Yeah, I wanted to deep dive on Instagram. Dude. The voice actor for
Timmy Turner, a baddie.
She's fine as hell. But
Is-
then you see the voice actor for Naruto,
Yep.
Uzumaki,
And you're like, whoa.
and
It's
it's also
crazy.
voiced by a girl.
But she's popped.
She looks like that one guy from the Sand Village, who was like,
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, this man's out of
fucking
pocket.
one of Gaara's cronies. It always had his eyes closed.
Yeah, he's from the Sand Village. He's thinking of like Gaara's like, because there's
There's a fat bastard in the Sand Village.
there's Tamari and then there's the other like who's the girl and
Well,
there's
that,
the guy.
the brother, the guy, that's Kakazu. That's
Yes.
what I thought you were talking. Oh no, not Kakazu.
No, no.
He had like
I'm
the
forgetting his
fat
name,
worm
but-
lips.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he's the other puppet user.
Right. Oh, he is.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Damn. Yeah, puppets always kind of freak me out.
They are kind of freaky, you know. Even when they try to make puppets cool in like shows and shit, I'm like. I
But
just
at the
don't fuck
same
with
time,
puppets.
I really think that there needs to be a resurgence of puppets because I think going back to talking about the animation and everything, I think
That's where it all started.
right now there's this. That you're right. That's where it all started, and everything is cyclical. So I think it'll come back because we're at an inflection point right now where there's so many like 3D cartoons or whatever. And the art style just kind of looks really bizarre. Like you saw Pixar.
That's what I'm
in the
saying.
toy.
Like they need to get back to their roots. That was what I was explaining. How like Toy Story, like that was like the peak of like animation. And I almost feel like they're trying to do.
that was the beginning of that.
It was the beginning, but it's almost like the peak for how it looks. Because I see like the
Yeah,
newer stuff,
yeah, that's true.
and it doesn't look as clean. Like you know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's just my personal preference or like the nostalgic aspect.
Yeah.
But to me, I think it looked more beautiful when it was originally like drawn and like actually like that versus being like AI digitalized and like a lot of the thing they're using now.
Yeah, it just seems like there's not a lot of, or not as much soul.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's the only thing that's.
They're using robots, not real
It's funny
people. to do
because
stuff.
Jake and I were just talking about that on the way home about Air Gear. One of the first anime that we watched when we were kids was I was talking about that because we were listening to a song from it, and I was like, God, I wish this show got finished because it was so good and it just ended like in the middle. And I was like,
Yeah,
it
it
would
was
be great
disappointing.
if
It
during
ended
this,
such a good spot
oh, yeah.
too. It ended
Total
like
cliffhanger.
right in the middle of like, all right, ready for the next episode. It just never came. Show's over.
Yeah, so that was hard. But it just, we were talking about how, like, why can't one of these good studios, like, pick up this and remake something like this? And he was like, you know what? He was like, I think I wouldn't want to see this in today's art style. Because he was like, when I look at it back then, I loved how it used to look in that original.
The nostalgic
like,
aspect.
He was like, and a lot of like the original like cultural references and stuff throughout anime that was always like thrown in there. It was like all those shows used to be true passion projects because like it really stuff wasn't coming out that often. It was a lot less often stuff got like greenlit, and now stuff's just kind of like industrialized and kind of just coming out on the conveyor belt.
And anime is so much
things.
more widely accepted now versus like in the 90s or like early 2000s. Like anime didn't even get really popular till like I would say the
past 3 years?
2010s. Like the 2010s is when maybe it, like
Yeah, that's
more
true.
And that
people
was-
more people started to find out, and then like
And that was thanks to the
you
big
know,
three.
closer to it, yeah.
These days now is like the reception has been like insane in the past like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
Has been like a crazy blow up. But
You used to be not allowed to tell other people you
no,
watched anime.
no.
You know?
To this day, people that I tell who even I went to school with for
Keep it a secret.
ages in middle school,
I
high
remember
school,
being
they
in middle
say
school
they
playing
never know.
Pokemon, watching anime, and like looking like over my shoulder and shit.
Right.
And then come to find out, that's
Right,
all the motherfuckers are doing in middle school and high school
Today,
nowadays.
Dude,
in today's,
I know for a fact that there were several individuals that I went to middle school with, and myself included, who pretended that Pokemon wasn't cool anymore.
and then they play it.
Like right when we
And
got
go home
into-
and I'd boot up my
got into
DS.
6th grade, you know, oh, Pokemon's so immature.
then those,
I'm in middle school.
then those
now.
dumbasses are playing.
And it's like Diamond
I'm
and Pearl
out.
just came out, and you're like, oh fuck.
When Platinum came out, oh, you know my ass. You know my dumb ass buying it.
You're like, go Turtwig.
Turtwig face ass.
You turn around.
People up neck ass.
I was still watching the show every morning until I went into like my 8th grade year.
The OG Pokemon show was so wholesome though. They had like such good messages and like it was so cute.
Definition
like Ash
of
and
soul.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
The Pokemon movies, the OG ones were all so good. Like
Oh.
the birds one, like with the Lugia,
started
the
with
Lugia
Pokemon
movie,
2000 with
the
Mewtwo.
Entei movie, like they had the Mewtwo movie, like
The Lugia, yeah, honestly,
all of them were so
The
good.
Mewtwo movie had a really good story.
Yeah, and it had a good message too.
Because
like,
Mew wanted everyone to work together.
and Mewtwo
Did
just
you
wanted to
guys
take over.
Did you guys know the movie for Pokemon 2000, that Mew movie, like a whole 2 full scenes, one in the beginning and one in the end, were stripped from the movie that we got. That was here in the U.S. and
There's
that's
deleted
why
scenes?
and that's why it doesn't make as much sense to us and why the message is kind of like confusing. But I was watching a video about it that was saying, well, it's because of some of the censorship in Japan when they were sending it over. It was like some companies didn't want stuff to be viewed in this way or how it was portrayed, and so they took it out.
I thought it was beautiful
and didn't let us do it. But it was like apparently. So I'd have to look it up to give you all the like details. But apparently, it was the whole idea was that, the whole idea was that Mewtwo was basically unhappy that he was like basically a test rat for Team Rocket.
I've heard
they were
this
doing
theory
all the
before.
tests on him and like he went crazy and then started obviously like killing people and basically he murdered all of the people that were working on him in that lab and then obviously like wanted to dominate humans because of humans had been dominating him and that's all he ever knew. But by the very end of it,
you saw Ash and how he was kind to Pokemon and like
he
changed his perspective.
And he saw how Pikachu
was
basically risked his life to save Ash at the end, and then that like, I guess, show of love towards humans or towards like what that there really could be like a breach in friendship between like.
But there's good
kinds or
humans
whatever.
too, obviously.
That I mean, he fucking changed it, but honestly, I'd have to look it up. But it was like a crazy. Like couple scenes that I read about that I was like, this is.
I want to see those scenes.
Some nuts stuff. Honestly,
I remember Ash turns to stone and dies.
Yeah,
and all the Pokemon start crying.
They start crying and like revive him.
exactly, and that's what I'm talking about. How like the messages and like it was wholesome because I remember like damn near crying when I saw Ash died. Like the Pokemon were crying. Like as a kid watching that, like you know your bitch ass is sobbing. If you don't, you a Jeffrey Dahmer ass motherfucker. You're a sociopath if you weren't.
Bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like the cartoons, the shows, and the movies, the animated things especially had more soul and just more effort and like more heart put into them than now. Today's just like they have all this technology, they have like a huge budget, and like no one really gives a shit. Whereas like in Pokemon, like that someone like came up with the idea of Pokemon. Someone hand drew all these Pokemon and created that, and like for the love of like this world that person created and like grew in love with, you know.
I kind of feel like this era, like
it's lacking creativity.
Late 2010s, early 20s, we're kind of seeing it being like propped up by like early 2000s culture.
Yes.
Where there's so many remakes and
yes.
things like Pokemon are still like going, you know, I mean.
But there's no or new original ideas.
Strong.
Exactly.
I mean, it's absolutely crazy to me, you know. You know, and then there's just like the onslaught of superhero movies, and right now we're in like such an era of repetition, and I don't think that there is as much soul as, you know, early 2000s.
That's why I said
in terms
that.
of buildings, like you guys ever seen like the old Wendy's,
the architecture,
old Taco Bell, and like things like that. Like now, like
everyone's just trying to get like
restaurants. You see, it's very, you know,
it's
like,
a dime.
I'm all for modernization, but at the same time,
blocky.
I don't want to just forget about our classic roots and architecture and like the things that like made, like for example, like cathedrals and things that have a lot of like architecture and thought and like different materials and like shapes used. Like I don't like how I feel like today's world, like everyone has this own view of like modern being like the best or this and that, but I feel like there's just a lot more charm in like older buildings and just older things in general.
That's partially why I'm so interested in traveling and going to other countries, is just the fact that if you think about it, America, our buildings are really like 300, 400 years old max. max. Like, and before us, it was
Less.
teepees. It was
Less than
teepees.
that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like throughout so many other places in the world, there's been
if you
structures
think
that have
about
been there
it,
for
like,
thousands of years.
New York City, I mean, America was founded in 1776, so 18, 19.
Yeah, we're not even.
I mean, it's
250 years.
Right,
Roughly.
250 years, and it's
About.
not like they erected the entire New York skyline. I mean, honestly, these buildings, I mean, almost came out of,
Or within the last 50.
pretty recent, to be honest with you. I mean, all the timeline of history considered, I mean, 200 years, I mean, isn't that much of a skiff?
No, in the comparison of things. But honestly, that's where I was just saying is like, America, we have a lot of similar stuff. And I mean, yeah, you got like some colonial houses, some Victorian houses, whatever, different styles. But it's just like, I've never had the pleasure of going and like walking up a hillside to a castle that has been there like 5 generations before me. Or like the Great Wall of China. Or like some of that shit that's like, those are structures that are unfathomable to like just understand like how long it took, how many people, where, like, just all of that is like insane. And I totally have a huge appreciation for that. Even like, I mean, the Taj Mahal, like any of the like 7 wonders, like that kind of stuff. It's like, how did y'all do this?
And you know what? I feel like there's such a different ethos that takes on in, those older countries or, parts of Europe, because it's just, hundreds and hundreds of years of history. In the U.S., we don't necessarily have that. And,
No.
Obviously,
And we have a tainted history.
That's fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, I mean, just like the, resonance of energy, I mean, that just, exists within those buildings. I mean, it's just like reverberates for like, I mean, someone laid that stone and it's been laid for like, hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, it's impressive.
Generations of families have stepped up on it.
Absolutely historic.
And that's something where like, even you think about it, like our last name Oldenburg, like we're like 3rd generation immigrant family, whatever it is, however far down the line from our family that came from Germany on our mom's side. And it's like, you go to Germany and there's a town called Oldenburg where our clan of our family originated.
There's like a family crest and shit.
Like we have one, and that's where like our like
we
our
should do that for the
family is
Patreon.
from. Like,
yeah, that'd be cool.
Like,
we should.
And that's what's crazy.
We're
is
gonna
like,
get me started, Scott. Hey,
Yeah.
write it down. Put it in the journal. We're gonna go to Germany.
Oldenburg.
I will go to Oldenburg. One place I've always wanted to go is Berlin.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is
Berlin Wall.
the party
totally
capital of the world.
Really?
Oh yeah, they have.
I didn't know
like Berlin is known.
That's
to
where the
have-
wall fell. So
Well, yeah, you know what, and that makes sense. Now they have just the
both sides partying
hottest
up.
nightlife. I mean,
That's crazy.
there's more DJs than doctors, in that place.
Hey, if you're on the table, all you need is a good beat to pick you up.
Wait, the surgeon's just like dropping the needle.
All right, so let me bring it back here for a sec. Colton.
Oh yeah, we totally got derailed from your book.
From what book?
Oh wait, what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say no. I'm not worried about this. Jack,
makes you
we'll talk about Jack when he arrives and do his episode.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll talk about that
separately.
for the next one.
So I was gonna say, but Colton, what are your goals to achieve by the end of the year? We're about three quarters through 2023.
Almost.
What would you like to see get done, or maybe what would you like to have in place for next year? Or talk to us about that.
All right. Well, it's tough coming on the end 75%. So the last quarter left of the year, 3 months. I would say
A lot can happen in 3 months.
very true. Very true. Well,
You got 24 hours in every day. It's just how you use it.
I would say I'm a real estate agent. I do construction, and apart from that, I'm definitely trying to breach into the content creation side of things. But I would say, I'm trying to buy my friend of my girlfriend's. Her and her boyfriend are due for a baby, and they're looking for a house. So I'm trying to find them a house in the next month, hopefully. Get a deal cooking. Other than that, honestly, just kind of trying to structure a little better on my days, my life, get back to the gym, my membership I just reinstated, which, anytime if you're listening, you should sponsor this shit because your payment is fucking ridiculous. But regardless, yeah, I would just say it.
PF boys for life.
adding a little structure, making sure I'm nose to the grindstone and doing what I need to do, and hopefully, in this crazy market, find a house for my friends that are looking.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe in a morning routine? Or do you like every day, every morning is something different?
I used to definitely be a big morning routine person. And you know what? I'm still a morning routine person. My morning routine just used to be productive. Now my morning routine is I wake up an hour and a half before I have to go, and then I lay in bed and just kind of like
then you smoke
mosey
a bowl
back
when you
and
wake
forth.
up, and then you fucking
No, honestly, this
pet
is
the
it.
cat.
This is it.
Fucking,
I wake up, I pet my cat, I like snuggle my girlfriend and just lay in bed all day,
What did I say?
all morning, and then I get out and literally in the last 5 minutes before I know I need to leave immediately, that's when I smoke my bowl so I can be high for my drive. As terrible as that sounds, but you know what?
Yeah.
At this point,
Every morning?
every morning.
I get intoxicated immediately before leaving.
Before driving.
That way, I'm the most intoxicated.
I don't think
that's
I ever
possible.
thought about it that way until saying it out loud like that. So that is pretty.
You're
bad,
like,
but-
wow, I am a
See,
menace.
I've
fam.
always wanted to be one of those people. I almost believe that the key to success is
Consistency.
having a morning routine, and that's something that's like for me is totally different every single day.
And
It's
hard.
Other than making myself
It
coffee.
doesn't have to be different
There's so
every day,
many
though.
different variables. No, but it is.
I hear you, but
Every day I'm just
all over
there's
the
no
place.
structure.
that
The
was
only
me
structure is the coffee. I wake up and I have
Coffee structures you.
See, that was me
Sometimes
the
I
last
wake
week.
up and I read. Sometimes I look at my phone in the morning and I feel like a piece of shit because I should be reading. But hey, we
Read
all
on
do
your
it.
phone?
There's nothing wrong. I look at a couple memes. But
One of the
you know,
2,000 I sent you.
sometimes I wake up, I go for a walk. Sometimes, at night I go on bike rides.
Go for a smoke and a bike ride. It came
You
back
know?
and this guy was pulling up on his bike with the cig lit, and I was like, "Damn, that was one of the coldest entrances I've ever seen."
Yo, I put the bike seat all the way down.
Low rider.
Because I have one of those bicycles that I have where the seat is the same level as the handlebars. So you're like over the bike.
Steven really on the bike.
Considerably.
They see me rolling. They hate it.
You know?
Patrolling. Trying to get me riding. Trying to get me riding. Yeah, that's Steven for sure.
But it's for the aerodynamics. But so yesterday I changed it up. I'm like, you know what? I had this bike seat as high as it could go.
I'm gonna go as low.
I'm putting it all the way to the bottom, baby.
Yeah.
Like the handlebars, like I had my
Like,
hands
You were
up.
riding a
You
damn
put it like a
Harley.
chopper.
And I was wearing
It's a choppa
I was
choppa.
wearing a hoodie. I had on a black sweatshirt.
I feel like a BMXer.
I had my wallet in my middle pocket in the hood.
The pouch.
I love that about sweatshirts.
The kangaroo
the
pouch.
pouch.
Yeah.
I almost don't know how to act.
Yeah, it's like, do
You
I
know?
put my hands in here?
Like,
Do I put stuff
Motherfucker,
in?
this is the mystery box in this pouch. I can pull out anything.
I almost like having it empty.
Yeah.
But when I have it,
Have the
when I
action.
have something in it, I'm
Yeah,
like,
because you don't like when it hangs.
Something
Reachable,
fall out.
you know?
Yeah. Got the glizzy right when
Yeah,
you
shit.
fucking.
Actually,
down.
so yesterday, I always have this. I had the same issue every single day. Actually, no, this is part of my morning routine. I lose my wallet.
You go on the wall.
I swear to
Listen,
God.
I used to be guilty. I know a lot of people that do this. The best remedy for this is have one set spot for everything. So, like for me, for example,
I do. It still gets lost. No, what I was gonna say is I do have a designated area for all of my things. I have a drawer in my kitchen. Some people call it a junk drawer, but I actually have.
That's your important stuff.
I have it very organized. And when I come home from work or I'm having, I want to be disconnected, I put the phone in the drawer, and I put my wallet in the drawer, and I put my car keys in the drawer. So I empty out my pockets and I put it in the drawer, and then I close it, and then somehow I fucking lose my wallet
And it disperses itself
every single
somewhere.
day at the end of the night. But no, what I was gonna tell you is when I went out for my bike ride, before I went, I was gonna go over to the corner store and get a snack or something.
I love that you call it the corner store.
And I couldn't find my wallet, and I'm like, and they close at 10.
You have that little stomach drop panic.
And they close at 10, and it was 9:56. I was like,
It's
looking
over.
all over, upstairs, downstairs, in the laundry room. I even opened up like the dryer for some reason, like out of desperation.
Just looking
Well,
anywhere.
okay.
Close it, open it one more time.
I'm looking in my car.
looked in the cupboards and shit.
The dashboard, the center console.
Looked in his refrigerator.
I opened up my trunk, looking in the spare tire. I'm
Was it in your
fucking
sweatshirt pocket?
I'm fucking going, emptying open wine bottles and fucking looking inside. Couldn't find my wallet.
Nothing.
And then what I did was actually I just took Courtney's wallet. I'm like, fuck it, I'm not
City
gonna find
boy, city boys.
Is that when you came out and we saw
That's
you?
it.
You're like, I got my girl's card.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny as hell.
Yeah, I said I got my girl's card, and I'm going to the corner store. And also I was riding her bike. Skirt.
Damn, you were.
So yeah, I got myself some cookies, and yeah, then I
Had
saw
that
you.
essential late night ride.
Yeah, essential late night ride. It felt pretty good.
Honestly, after going on that bike ride with you a couple months ago, like I want a bike so bad.
Dude, we should.
That was so fun.
The last time I went on a bike ride, before seeing you the other day, it was on Friday. Last Friday, I was on a bike ride and my inner tube popped on my way home.
You told me that.
And that was the first time that has ever happened to me.
I bet that was kind of scary.
It wasn't scary.
Was it like a pop or just a deflate?
It deflated, and I was actually listening to music.
Oh.
And I was driving to Krungbin. Shout out Krungbin.
What's
great band from Austin, Texas. They're like a jam band. Kind of like just kind of like instrumental music, really. They have some lyrics, but it's really like just kind of like rock instrumentals. But they're really good. They're super good. You actually probably heard me playing that before at my house.
Probably.
Yeah, good, great dinner music. Just great. Just a great group.
Podcaster from Austin.
So yeah. See, there you go. So I was listening on my headphones, and I kind of felt I didn't hear the pop, and if for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, the inner tube popped, but the tire was still fine. The tire on my bike works as a slip cover.
So it just goes over the tube. So it's a little air tube on the inside of the rubber.
Basically, you get a tube,
thin balloon
and then
almost.
you cover it with exactly like a thin balloon, and then you cover it in rubber.
Shit, yeah.
And the rubber is in the shape of a wheel.
Yeah.
And that's why those bikes are so light, and the tires are pretty durable. I mean, they're easy to replace because it's not like I have to replace or buy a whole thing. Like the inner tube itself is only like $5 or $6.
Yeah, so
and you get two of them. But that was the first time that my inner tube had ever popped when I was on a bike ride, and I was pretty close to my house. Thankfully, I was like 10 minutes away, and honestly, I was like riding on the rim because I'm like, I'm not gonna walk my bike. I'm like,
that.
honestly, I probably shouldn't have because it's not good. But I was like,
I didn't want to be the bozo. People are driving by, like, why is this guy walking his bike?
Well, I didn't think about that, but I was like, honestly, kind of late for work as well because I just kind of wanted to go for a little ride.
Yeah. So now you're like, I'm on a.
I was kind of on a schedule. I was like, that's going to take
timetable.
15 minutes. If I were to walk my bike, I was like, fuck it. So I just.
It's got to happen.
Yeah.
Put the big boy pants on and pedal that bitch home.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been riding Courtney's bike. Super fun. Low rider. And
I was looking at an electric bike, and I honestly just for shits and giggles because advertising will do that to you. And I was floored at the price of this bike. And honestly, it said all other electric bikes, it was like, you're looking at $2,700 to $3,300. And they're like, our bike is $1,600. And I was like, acting like that's a good price. I was like, I could buy a fucking moped for that. A nice moped.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, for an electric bike. But at the same time, I'm like, this bike recharged itself, has a 100-mile range.
Really?
And it was like $1,600 and goes like 28 miles per hour, I think. So I was like, that's pretty good.
Did you guys see the new motorcycle or the electric bike that Honda made?
No, I have not. Oh, that thing looks. Why does that look so awesome? It's like a briefcase. It tucks down into like a briefcase.
It's compactable, and it has a handle on it. So
that is so awesome. Where do I sign up?
You like it?
I do. I'm not even kidding.
So to describe for everyone at home, it's basically it looks like a AirPods case, and then the neck of the handlebars come out from the top, but you can collapse it down into
basically a briefcase.
Yeah, basically it turns into a briefcase. It even has a little
handle.
handle.
It literally looks like one of the miniature pong tables that fold in half, like one of the white plastic pong tables.
Yes, it absolutely does.
That's what it looks like, folded in half.
Yep, it looks like a collapsible table. You are totally right.
And yeah, no, I mean, this thing, what? It looks like maybe it's like 3 feet by 2 feet max. That's crazy.
I think everything tucks in. The seat tucks into the
that
middle.
would be such a
handlebars tuck in. I think the wheels stay out.
Now you don't gotta lock up your bike anymore. You just pick up that briefcase, bring it into the office, and bring it out when you're done.
Yeah.
That's a really cool little bike. I wonder how much that costs. They're probably like $5,000.
Probably like $10K, honestly, for the technology.
I don't know.
That'd be crazy. It's small. It's like there can't be a lot of shit going on in there.
Yeah, and then it folds into a briefcase. I mean, honestly, it is pretty cool.
It is cool. Let's check that shit out.
Yo, with 7 minutes remaining roughly on the timer, Steven, what about you? Just wanted to ask you, as my partner in crime, my co-host, as well as my brother, my neighbor, what would you like to see? Maybe not even see, but what are you looking forward to either experience, accomplish, or just set up and prepare for the next year in the next 3 months?
Well, there's one thing that I would love to experience, and I'm going to tell you what it is right now. Are you ready for it?
Don't say anything. Don't ruin it, Scott.
Are you ready for it?
Some gay shit. Yep.
This has been The Neighbors.
I knew it.